Oh my God. I don't know about you guys, but I have found it fascinating how many knockoff Temu Wes Watsons have been popping up left and right since the actual Wes Watson's departure from the internet. Whether it's, Mike Feeney, who has literally memorized every single thing Wes Watson has ever said in his entire life and is now repeating them on his Instagram stories.
Great, who can do anything? It's all possible. No one really understands that self-mastery is your true aim. Once you've mastered self, you can do anything you want on this earth.
And here he is literally admitting that he's sending his daddy Wes money and putting money on his books. This is beyond embarrassing and should have definitely stayed in the drafts.
They tell me that Wes doesn't really give a shit about me or my family.
And then we have Diane Munoz, who's an OnlyFarts model, and she was, mentored by Wes. She also does OnlyFans content with her daughter. Yes, with her daughter. You heard that right. Very incesty vibes, if you ask me. But she's responding to this comment by Tracy Marie Bryan that says, she acted all innocent with Wes. She set him up. Guarantee he should have never put his hands on her. I see how women like this move. I think she meant to say guarantee he never put his hands on her. But this is an idiot that we're working with here, obviously. She goes on to say, she's acting all wild and loud and annoying. Her voice is so annoying. Yeah, we get it, girl. We heard you the first time. I hate that I actually liked her for him. SMH. DTA, don't trust anyone. And then Diane Munoz chimes in and says, clapping emojis. Girl, I'm so glad you can see through the truth. Biggest setup of all time. So she obviously thinks that this was a setup, which, I mean, guys, look at the people who are making these sorts of comments and it tells you everything you need to know. All I have to say is running defense for a known woman abuser who has a pattern of this. This wasn't the first time. There are videos out there where he has done this to ex-girlfriends, ex-wives even. So we know he has a history of violence, not to mention the fight in the gym, which doesn't really matter what side you're on. It just proves that Wes has a history of these kinds of things. So running defense for a woman abusing piece of shit is crazy work. I wouldn't be surprised if she put some of that incest OnlyFans money towards her daddy's books, just like Mike Feeney. But guys, I mean, these are the people who are paying for Wes's coaching, so are you expecting like some high IQ geniuses? Probably not. But I think most of all, what I find funniest are the guys who not only copy everything he says, copy his mannerisms and, his quotes and things like that, but also copy his looks. I have two guys to share with you today that are just gonna blow your socks off. They're so hilarious. But before we get into it, welcome back everyone. I'm Danielle. If you can do me a favor and you decide that you enjoy this video, please drop me a like and consider subscribing. I mean, there is that one guy who has the same exact tattoo on his head as Wes Watson, but I think this is even worse. Check out this guy. Look at this guy. He goes by Ronnie Nimi or Naimi on Instagram. He's like literally a whole foot shorter than, I don't know if this is his wife. I'm assuming it's his wife. And the reason I noticed him is because his wife, I'm just going to call him his wife. I don't know if they're married, but we'll just go with wife for now. His wife was really good friends with Angie. She was doing like the whole theta healing bullshit with her. I saw them posting about theta healing together. And I saw him post this the other day. And mind you, Wes was already arrested at this point, but he's taken a photo of one of Wes's like old videos. It must have been like a coaching call. And we already know what Wes has said and what he thinks about guys who look back on all of his old videos for motivation or whatever. He has called these guys lames.
But the sad thing is, everybody who says, I still watch your old videos and I like your old videos, they're always the biggest dorks and lames. Like, it's never like a guy who's like a stud, who like is thriving at life. Please stop it, okay?
But that's not the part that got to me. Let's go ahead and read the caption. It says, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Matthew 7:12. I am not very religious. Shrug emoji. I am not very religious. But I have been sitting and considering if I should take part in this mental illness or not. Mind you, sorry to interrupt this. He types exactly like Wes with like the lower cases and then the capitals and then the red exclamation part emojis and then like the yelling head emoji. Just crazy. That is mental illness. Okay, my guy, that is mental illness if I've ever seen it. Not only are you typing like a complete psychopath, like this is criminal, but you're also copying the entire identity identity of another man. Just saying. So where were we? I am not very religious. I have been sitting around and considering if I should take part in this mental illness or not. I can't stay quiet because what is trending today and what is likable is fucking mental. I am not here defending someone who has done something wrong. Wrong is wrong. 100 emoji. But when a man or woman is down, you mean in prison for beating the shit out of a young woman? Okay. And not even in the position to speak for himself, the way people jump on him, tear him down, and farm attention off of it, that's not truth. It's pure weakness and illness. And what's even worse, the loudest voices are often the people who have built nothing, stood for nothing, and achieved nothing worth mentioning. Definitely not helping others. What, you're claiming that Wes has? My brother Wes Watson helped me when I needed it the most. And it's not just me. Thousands of others. And you might be wondering why I'm yelling like that. It's because how do you read this, okay? How do you read all this capital font without yelling? I mean, come on. He wants us to yell. Discipline, self-respect, structure, accountability. That doesn't disappear because of a situation. Lessons are still lessons. What you have learned cannot be unlearned. Bars. What I don't respect is this trend of shitting on someone when they're already down just to look good online. And I don't respect people blindly following that behavior either. Wes is just one case. This shit happens all the time on all levels. Really? I mean, I know it happens all the time, but this seems like you're trying to normalize it. Are you trying to normalize the abuse of women, sir? Because that's kind of what it sounds like. People don't want the truth, but they sure want something and someone to point at so they can feel better about their own lack of action and results. Real ones can separate value from mistakes and fuck-ups. Wow. So he is calling this a mistake. I would consider a mistake like, I don't know, running a red light, accidentally texting the wrong person when you meant to text somebody else. I wouldn't call holding a woman hostage for more than 24 hours, beating the shit out of her, having your butler bitch glue a woman's wound closed because you grabbed her head and slammed it on the counter. I wouldn't really call that a mistake. But nonetheless, the rest just expose themselves. They sure do. Respect is earned, not deleted overnight. Really. Real ones take the lessons. Clowns chase attention. #truth. And then, of course, Mike fucking Feeney commented, "Preach, brother," with the flame emojis. But so, in my opinion, it really sounds as though, he's trying his hardest. He's trying his damnedest to defend Wes. Like, he's trying to be like, oh, he's done so much good that doesn't get deleted overnight. You can't kick somebody while they're down. You can't judge somebody based off a mistake. When, first of all, before I get into what I really want to get into, I just have to say, reporting on something and talking about something is not kicking somebody while they're down. It's just simply reporting information that's out there. Information that is public. Information that we are allowed to talk about, and information that I think the public deserves to know. That is not kicking somebody while they're down. Now, what surprised me the absolute most, okay, you guys, about this post was that Angie herself liked this post. And I'm going to kind of be easy on Angie here, even though I think this is absolutely diabolical to like this post. It's complete fucking bullshit because not only are you, when you like something, I feel like you're agreeing with it, or you obviously you like it. So you like the post, you like what this asshole is saying, but also you're signaling to the victim, you're signaling to Megan that you don't agree, like you're not on her side. I am going to be easy on Angie because I do believe she is one of Wes's victims as well, but I am extremely disappointed. I'm very, very disappointed, and I will give Angie her flowers. I'm going to give her a little bit of credit here because I've made a lot of videos, as you know. I've made videos on her in the past, and I've been pretty harsh on her. But the only reason why I'm extra harsh on her is because there is a child involved. And you going back to somebody like that when she already knew what Wes was like, getting out of that situation, and then going back to it, I do think that deserves a fair amount of criticism. But I will say that after all the things I've said about her and all the videos I've made, she has never blocked me. And I can respect that because I'm the same way. Out of all the time, out of the years and years I've been online, I can count on one hand the amount of people I've blocked. One of them being Kyle Perry, because he was trying to drag me into some bullshit that I had nothing to do with. And also somebody recently who DM'd me some pretty threatening messages. But that's really the only people I can think of. And then, I don't know, there may have been, a couple others, but you can literally say the meanest shit to me ever and insult me, make fun of my whatever, I don't care, and I won't block people. So that being said, and I am kind of over explaining myself here because I want you to know where I'm coming from with this, I just feel like I can really respect her for that. Like, she can take the heat. But when you compare Angie liking that post, and she really hasn't said anything publicly about the whole Megan situation, and I'm not saying she has to, okay? But when you compare that to this, and this is what Valerie posted, and if you don't know who Valerie is, I guess I was going to say ex-wife, but I guess they're still married. Obviously, they're not together, but they're still legally married, I believe. She posted this on her Instagram page. Karma is a bitch, and she came as an escort, which, cute. And for Angie to side with this asshole that she already knows is abusive, because I do believe she is a victim of Wes. I do feel like Valerie is much more of a girl's girl. And I just think personally, being someone who has gone through this very same thing, being with an abusive guy who used his money and power to control me and to silence people around him and his employees and myself, I just feel like it's always a better move to support the victim rather than liking passive aggressive posts that are in support of a violent criminal. Just my opinion. And I do just want to say that I think it's rich for somebody who claims to be so spiritually enlightened to not understand that it's the right thing to support the victim and maybe even reach out to her, being one of Wes's ex, being somebody who went through the same thing, reaching out to her and be like, hey girl, I was there too at one time. I believe you. I stand with you. Something like that. You don't have to be cheesy about it. You don't have to be corny or over the top or anything like that. But I just feel like that's what a real spiritually enlightened person would do. And the only reason I can think of that she is supporting a post like this, supporting Wes, and I'm not saying she's supporting Wes, but she's obviously liking posts that are in support of Wes. The only reason I can think of that makes sense in my brain is that many times after a woman leaves a violent, abusive relationship, they sadly do still feel the need to protect their abuser. And maybe that's what she's doing now, who knows? But that's the only thing I can think of. That's the only reason I could possibly, make sense of this in my brain as to why she would be, liking a post defending Wes. That's all I'm saying.
And I just feel like it's extra disappointing considering that just not too long ago, she posted this.
So this is my little rant before I wash my makeup off and go to sleep. If you're dealing with a narcissistic person, leave. Immediately leave. You cut all contact. Don't let any door open. That's where I messed up. I let this vile man have access to me. And it prolonged my growth. I didn't do anything. They're not going to change. They're just keeping you around for supply while they could be digestible for the next person. The sooner you get out, the more the reality of who they are will be revealed to the other person.
Now, this video is obviously not just about, what posts Angie is liking, but I just want you guys to take a look at this guy, dude. So this freaking Ronnie guy, not only does he dress like Wes, exactly like Wes, like, dude, get your own style. Like, what are you doing? Copying what another man does head to toe. But he even wears purses, the same crossbody purses that Wes wears. Look at this. Dude, what is happening? That has got to be the corniest thing I've seen in a very long time. You can't even be your own man. These are the type of guys that Wes talks shit about. He makes fun of. The type of guys that copy every little thing he says and does. He talks shit that these guys can't even come up with their own identity. They can't even think for themselves and come up with their own shit, their own style. So I just think it's so hilarious that these guys are dick riding Wes. Meanwhile, he is secretly behind the scenes talking shit about them. Then you guys, we have another character. I saw this asshole the other day, and I'm not kidding you, I legitimately thought it was Wes. Look at this guy. He looks just like him. Look at their photos next to each other. Okay, then this was the video I saw.
A lot of people thought I left Miami
and I was never going to open another shop here. Well, guess fucking what? The shop that I'm opening here in Miami is going to be 10 times bigger, 10 times badder, 10 times more exotic, with all licensing, all permits. There's a lot of fake people here in fucking Miami that don't know nothing about this business, that did work for me, that didn't require any value into my company. Well, guess what? The shit I'm doing now, you guys are all going to be fucking going crazy. This is going to be the biggest, baddest shop in Miami, Florida. All licenses, 3 spray booths. Just wait and see, guys. Are you fucking ready for the Nizo takeover in Miami again? Because I already showed you guys what I did in 9 months. Now let me show you what I'm going to do in 1 month. So be ready and watch this.
Okay, guys, so this wannabe Wes Watson goes by David Nizo on Instagram. So let's just kind of look at a few of his videos, the kind of content he puts out, just so you can get an idea.
Do for a living?
I'm a real estate agent right now.
Are you doing real estate for the money, or is it because you love it? You got to do it because you love it.
That's my passion.
If that's your passion, then that's what you stick. What's your passion?
Sports.
Sports. So why don't you do something in sports?
Yeah.
Sports betting, get into a sport and do something that you love. When you do something for the money and you're trying to chase the money, it's never going to come.
Yeah.
I promise you that. You got to do something that you love. And when you love it, then the money comes. If you're doing something just to get the money, you're going to push the money away. When you're doing something you love because you're not caring about the money, money will come with it. So don't always forget that. Always remember, do something that you love. That's what I did. I love cars. I love body shop, towing. That's my industry. Yeah. And I mastered it because I did it because I love it. And I don't care about the money. Yeah. Money comes with it. So that's what you got to do too.
Giving kids advice on what they should do as their career and telling somebody because they like sports to get into gambling or sports betting is crazy. Why would you ever tell a young kid to get into sports gambling? What? Okay, so this is why I'm calling him a Timu, like knockoff Wes Watson, because not only does the guy look like him, but he talks just like him. The way he talks about money, like put me anywhere and I'll become a millionaire within a month. I can lose all my money and I'll be back up in 30 days, whatever, right? Listen to this guy.
You come to New York, you will be stepped on and squashed in business. If you can survive in New York City, you can put me in Alabama. I promise you I'll become a multimillionaire in 30 days. What I've done in 9 months in Miami, people couldn't do in 10 years. You remember, I flipped that city upside down. I had everyone's name on their throat. Everyone hated me.
They're like, who the is this new guy coming in?
And guess what? I did it. And I walked away like nothing. And guess what? In 2 months, I'm going back even bigger and stronger. Because I could do that. I back my up because I know what I say I can do.
They're lazy.
People don't have no energy, no drive. I'm up at 4 o'clock in the morning. While you're sniffing coke in space and
Oh, my foot's asleep.
and 2-seat out, guess where I'm at 4 o'clock in the morning?
Tow truck.
I'm in my tow truck going to accident calls and getting money. I'm providing for my family. While you're peeking through the blinds and thinking someone's coming in your house, I'm already getting money. So keep doing drugs, keep hiding behind those curtains, and I'm gonna keep stacking.
Well, perfect time to go back to Miami because I think they're down 1 alpha. Hold on, guys. My foot's asleep. Okay, so what really caught my attention was that under his videos are many comments of people calling him a scammer. Like under the first video I showed you of him, somebody said, I just hope you do so badly in the new store that not one more customer is scammed by you. Somebody else said, this guy is all cap, straight scammer right here. This guy got evicted and stole money from many customers' checks. Somebody else said, honestly, this video shocks me. He had my car at his shop, which he moved without warning, took all the money I had already paid him, and now he doesn't even answer his phone or return my money. He left my car unpaired. He's a scammer. So as you can see, a lot of people had some, not so nice things to say about his business. So then I clicked on his business Instagram, which he has linked in his bio, and his business is called Nizo Motorsports. And this is the Instagram page right here. So I decided to look it up on Yelp because obviously Instagram can be skewed just because they may not like this guy, his content, his attitude, whatever. But when I looked him up on Yelp, his business has 1.5 stars. So, I had to go check out the reviews. And people had so much to say. They were not happy, to say the least. This person says, they are scammers, take much longer time than promised, no communication, thieves. They have so many 1-star reviews. Terrible, cheap work, and juices insurance. Never orders new parts, just bonds the vehicle. When you tell him, he doesn't respond or tells you to come in, doesn't do the work legit, will damage your car more than what it came in. He left my car with water damage, parts falling off, and caused me to be investigated by my insurance company twice. He is very rude and stands behind the mistakes that are done by his workers. Please don't go here. So basically all of these 1-star reviews, well, most of them had the same thing to say, that he juices insurance, he provides cheap, terrible, incomplete work, he provides bad customer service. They also complain that the owner is a douchebag, which, you know, I can kind of tell by looking at his videos. They say that there is no communication once you drop your car off. He doesn't give you updates as promised, that you will literally get your car back worse than the condition it was in when you dropped it off. And basically people are just calling this company an entire scam and calling him a scammer. So I just kind of wanted to show you this guy because when I saw him, I was just kind of laughing at him about how much he resembles Wes Watson. I mean, you can tell it's kind of deliberate. These guys are 100%, in my opinion, copying him. There's no doubt in my mind. Just my opinion. But then when I fell down this rabbit hole, I could not get over how many similarities there are between this guy, not only Wes Watson, but also Cario Motor Cars. You guys remember the sketchy dealership that I talked about in previous videos, the dealership that pretty much will sell these high-end cars, these lemons, in my opinion, sell them to anybody who's able to, you know, put down a down payment. Doesn't matter what your credit score is. It's just so sketchy, and it just reminded me so much of this sketchy ass company as well. But yeah, I just thought this was kind of funny and I wanted to share it with you guys. I mean, these guys are all the same. Like I always say, they have so many similarities, and in my opinion, they are all scammers. Nothing about their businesses are ever on the up and up. I mean, we even talked about how Wes Watson's business was defunct. He's running a defunct business out of a sketchy warehouse. So it's just like, whether these guys are doing coaching or they have a dealership or whatever the hell they're doing, it's always sketchy as hell. And then they want to talk about, you know, that they would be millionaires. If you dropped them in Alabama, they would make their money back in 30 days. Yeah, because you're fucking scammers. No shit. I could make money too if I were scamming. I'd be a fucking millionaire. That's not like something to brag about. When you're scamming, you don't get to brag about how much money you make and how fast you're able to make that money. Okay? Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. Please like this video if you liked it, subscribe if you would like to subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Take care.